Hey everyone, welcome to another night of Tarot with Sam, yours truly. And for tonight's offing, we have the handy dandy tarot deck and my goddess cards that you'll typically see in my Saturday self-care videos. If you haven't caught any of those yet, definitely do, especially if you're like me where you love the idea of a bubble bath for your self-care. Totally do. But also realize that your own personal energy and nurturing the aspects of yourself, whether it be something to embody or something to unblock, is just as much self-care as that bubble bath. I might want to actually put that in the comments. If you are interested in getting a personal reading tonight, you can either check out the comments or the description for the how-to. 10-minute readings are $15 and single card are $5, payable through CashApp or Venmo. And if you would like discounted readings, I always offer those for my Patreon members. Sneak over and join. Link is in the channel info. And instead of the 15, my Patreon members get a super special code. And that 15 can turn into anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I could talk. A 10-minute reading can go from 15 to $5 or $10. And single cards go down to 1 or 2, depending on the month. What else? Oh, Patreon members also get monthly personalized readings, and depending on your tier, you can either get it week by week or even get 2 super special, all your own, whatever you got going on, half-hour reading included in your subscription. So things to think about. Now, some of you are probably wondering why my other Oracle deck, my Mishmash one, isn't available. I'm actually going to be working on resetting that in the next couple of days, so I kind of wanted to make sure I didn't overload it with too much extra energy, because I actually did the tarot yesterday because it was just starting to get a little energetically sticky. For those of you that know, you know. And if you are in Ohio, a couple super fun things coming up. On the 21st, I will begin my tarot class series in Logan, Ohio. How to get on that? Jump to my Facebook, and all the information is in the events tab. And also on the 28th in Euclid, full blown going the opposite direction than Logan, but here we are. I'll be at the Hen Mansion offering readings there as well. So definitely things to think about if you love all things weird and witchy and would like to dive a little deeper. Definitely for you. Or if you love to just attend psychic fairs, Hen Mansion is, from what I hear, amazing. This will be my first time, so I'm excited. And I also have a few events coming next month. And luckily, you don't have to be a Patreon member to see that post, but all the details for that are in the pinned post on my Patreon page, so definitely sneak over if you'd like to come see me in person. Or if nothing else, there are definitely a couple of 2-day events going on that, if you're pretty close to the Ohio border, highly recommend going to. Particularly Something to Believe in Girard, which will be April 18th and 19th. And Parapsychon 7, so excited to be going that for my 3rd year in a row. But we'll be actually doing both. So definitely going to be a lot of fun, a lot of busy, a lot of just giddy, because I love whenever I get to do my psychic fairs. If I love one-on-ones, I absolutely do, it is nothing compared to the fun I have at psychic fairs. Because with those, while I love my one-on-ones, I get to work and play. But just a heads up, I will only be live until 6:45 if we stay slow, but I'll be going until 7 if it gets a little busy. And much like the last few lives, I will be offering also collective readings during this time, just because I get myself in the mindset for messages. I open that door up and it's like, you know what? All right, we'll let a few of you out because it's got to go somewhere. And I've also found that if messages are only gently pushing and I don't just do them anyway, sometimes they build and build and build until it gets to be a little bit of a headache until I throw it where it's supposed to go. So for the moment, since we're looking, kind of quiet, let's do a collective read for what's knocking the loudest right now. So for the fourth person that either joins the live or watches the replay, let's see how we can't tweak this retrograde, because unfortunately we're still very much in Mercury retrograde. If you missed out on my zodiac readings for that, that's definitely in the past videos. Jump over and check it out for your sun, moon, and rising, because all three are important. But for a fourth person that either joins the live or watches the replay, what can you do to make this Mercury retrograde just a little easier? All right. So we have a sideways High Priestess card. What this is telling me is you're almost doing great on that whole listening to your spirit guides, making sure that you're getting those messages to your intuition clearly, and you're doing an all-around wonderful job. But there's a couple of cases where it's just you kind of missed the mark there, or you chose to just straight up ignore it. That being said, let's see how to tweak it a little bit to make it easier, because we got where you need to focus. All right. So definitely got a couple more cards for expansion than I fully intended, but here we are. All right. So the main thing that's kicking you in the tail, Mr. Madam, fourth person joining or fourth replayer, is Seven of Cups. This is telling me that I am so sorry, but you need to make sure that the opportunities and the connections that you have are not just gold-plated. Make sure that you're looking beneath the shiny and looking at the nitty-gritty dirty stuff, all right? Because you are putting something or someone on a pedestal, and it's not doing you any good, because this person doesn't know how to communicate. Okay? I am so sorry, number 4, but they will tell you all the things in the world, but they will not tell you how they really feel. They'll look like a great catch. They'll look like they've got it together. They'll look like they've got all the crazy, awesome, bright ideas. But in reality, it's literally just pipe dreams for one. And for two, there's no motivation to actually get things rolling on that. So number 4, what can you do about that? Be honest. Look at the situation. Look at it by yourself for the first few minutes and ask yourself, is that really the kind of connection I want to keep in my life? Or more importantly, should I keep in my life? And I've got a couple things here that are telling me what could happen depending on what you choose to do. Number 4, we've got option A and option B. So with option A, if you choose to really look into that relationship, see if you really want to keep that in your life, and either choose to improve it or drop it, is from what I'm guessing. you can get some new brilliant ideas coming your way and finally reaching that success you've always been trying to do. If you choose to keep it as is, you're going to be blocking yourself from so many good opportunities for your career, for your home life. It's opportunities that could be creating beautiful experiences for you. So if you ask me, typically I never ever encourage you guys to make any decisions while I'm talking to you. But number 4, highly recommend either adjusting that relationship or dropping it, because this stuff right here is too awesome to ignore. And who really wants to dig themselves into a hole? Personally, whenever it comes to Mercury retrograde life decisions like that one, I always encourage slow down, think about it for a hot minute. But either number 4 person to join or 4th person watching the replay, I have never seen a clear no-brainer. I mean, usually I see a couple gray areas here and there, but that was easy. Oh, and because this has been coming up again, please note that any and all readings that you get from me are strictly advice only. It is not to go against what your doctor, your therapist, spiritual leader, whoever. It's not to go against anything that they say by any means. And I take zero responsibility of your choices after your reading. Had to let read go a little awkward, and yeah. But number 4, whenever you get to catch your reading, if you could leave in the comments that not only did you receive it, but also let us know just how on point it might have been. That would be absolutely fabulous. And for those of you that absolutely love the idea of getting a personal reading, but are a little iffy about getting one on a public platform, because, hey, I get it. You don't always want your dirty laundry thrown all over the place, depending on what comes out, because we don't know until we get there. There is actually a link in the channel bio on how to schedule readings with me. You can use the scheduler link and pick your day and time, or send me a direct message on Facebook or Instagram. Both of those, much like my channel, are Sam, the letter C, Seer. And just let me know your availability and we'll work it out from there on when to schedule you. All right, let's do another read here. And I'm thinking we're going to get super fun with it, because there's been times where I've done this and it worked out way more interesting than I thought it originally would. Quite honestly, the first time I did it, I threw it out in the air, and lo and behold, perfect lineup. I try not to claim being a sidekick entirely. I'm just the messenger. But sometimes, it does come through rather well. So for the person that has a Leo moon and is having trouble kind of catching a green color. So if your moon is in Leo and you're having troubles with your career, let's see how we can't help you fix it. All right. All right, so my moon in Leo person that's having trouble in their career. It's time to start healing. And from what exactly? Because you've probably been going through all kinds of junk in the last couple of weeks. I feel your pain on so many levels. But my moon Leo person, you need to finally let yourself accept that sometimes you've got a block. Sometimes you can't say what you want to say when you need to say it. And you also have a lot of blocks on how to generate new ideas on how to change things in your career. Fully get it. Sometimes, you know what? The blocks do happen, but you need to forgive yourself for those blocks because they were temporary. I'm sure that once you find where the root of that block is at, or if you've already found it, you've already taken care of it, things will change because the faster we've got a reverse four of swords, that is action, that is movement, that is getting things done. So that tells me if you haven't already found the root cause of that block, it is time to get up on that horse and get rocking so that you can start that healing. And something tells me that whether it's to get to the root of that block or get out of your head and accept that you have finally broken the block and you are back to your normal, outgoing, beautiful self, you need to talk to the people that you work closely with. These are the people that, whether they're your coworkers or just a lot of team members that you don't work with directly all the time, but they are very frequently with you, whether on a group thing, a project, work trip, whatever it is. These are the people that know you. These are the people that are going to let you know what was starting to be noticeable that you have tripped a block somewhere. These guys are going to help you work through that. You need a team. These guys are, and you know exactly the people that you need to talk to because they were popping in your head right when I said your teammates, the people you work close with. Talk to these guys. Ask them, when did they start noticing that your communication skills were starting to kind of tank a little and that you weren't coming up with the brilliant ideas that you typically did or presenting them as brilliantly as you used to? Because that's going to jumpstart that healing process. And Leo Moon, your career will be right back on track. All right, just a quick reminder, I will only be live until roughly 6:45 if we stay on the slow side. And since we've done a few tarot readings, let's do a couple goddess guidance because honestly, I love this deck. I don't have a incredibly feminine bone in my body, but these guys kind of bring it out a little. All right. So this will be for the second person joining or the second person watching the replay. What do you need to embody or unblock to get your Mercury retrograde moving just a little easier? Because something tells me it's been kicking you almost as bad as me. All right. So for the second person joining the live or the second person watching the replay, let's see what you need to embody or unblock for your retrograde. That was a little too quick and easy. All right, so for my second person, either joining the live or watching the replay, you have Mary Magdalene. Typically, her message is love yourself, others, and every situation, no matter what the outward appearances might be. So, I have a feeling that a lot of this has to probably deal with your personal self-image and the life you're currently living right now. The way that it's going to change, the way that things are going to seem actually brighter is if you start looking at some of the good points instead of the, and I imagine it's very valid, mounting list of crap. I am quite sure that you're not that bad of a person and you're probably absolutely gorgeous. Start owning some of your wins. And as far as the situation you're in right now, are you trying to say that there's nothing that you enjoy about it? Nothing that you know makes it a little easier? Start loving yourself and the life you have, because that is probably far more amazing than you're giving it credit for. Life isn't always awesome, but it's never entirely bad. And since we did one for the watch and or replay, and one for a zodiac and a situation, why not do the same with the oracle cards, right? We got our watch and or replay one. Let's see what messages are knocking around. All right. So this one is for my sun people in Gemini. If your sun sign is in Gemini, and we'll cheat and use my tarot deck real quick to narrow down what you need to hear. Because the message is there, it's needing a better conduit than just my brain. But for our Sun Geminis, we're going to look at what's keeping you from wearing your crown properly. Reverse Queen of Wands, what is wrong with your confidence? Let's check that out real quick. What do you need to embody or unblock? Because, my goodness, I don't think I've ever met a female Gemini I didn't think was a blast to be around. Honestly, I didn't even think that it existed. And I've met just as many guy Geminis too that were just a delight. Maybe it's just my saggy way, but I find Geminis to be a full-blown delight. So what do you guys need to do to work that confidence back where it's supposed to be? Okay, that explains a lot, actually. So we have Sieg. Her message is take some time, quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. So what this is telling me is you're too much on the go. You have stacked your to-do list through the roof and thought you could still get it done. Take a moment. When is the last time you gave yourself 10 minutes while you were awake to just do nothing but be? You don't think about what you need to do at home. You don't think about the deadlines at work. You don't think about how the kids are driving you crazy with their constant bickering. You're not thinking about how the dog chewed up the remote again. 10 minutes. Rest, meditate, let yourself get back to you. And I've got a few self-love and self-care meditations that guide you through getting yourself back to you. Go take a look at them. Help me help you. Because quite honestly, the reason why your confidence went the wrong direction is you're too damn busy to celebrate your wins and realize that you're great. You're just overloaded. Excuse me. And you know what? Per my usual, if I'm throwing people under the bus, my personal deck is nearby. I was grabbing a few cards for myself earlier. Let's see what's a few things I need to do for myself to get myself back on track with this retrograde. Let's see what these guys have to say. And heads up, these guys are mean to me, so if it seems a little extra, all right, what do I need to do to get myself back on track with this retrograde and actually benefit from it instead of feel like I'm getting kicked? Sideways King of Cups. So I'm doing good. I'm doing better on being more open with those near and dear to me. And I'm doing better on managing my emotions instead of just locking them up until I can deal with them later. But there's unfortunately just as many places where I'm still brick walling my emotions, and just as many places where I choose to mask instead of show how I'm really feeling. Kind of harsh, a little too on the nose, but that's why it's the personal deck. It gives me the very cruel honesty I occasionally need to get myself in gear. That was painful. Necessary, but painful. All right. Just a quick heads up. I'll only be on for another 15 or so minutes. So if anyone would like a reading, I definitely recommend getting yourself in the queue soon because, hey, 10 minutes can go by pretty quick, and with only about 15 minutes to go, it's definitely going to be a scramble of who's getting on first. Tell you what, this weather going up, down, left, and right is not doing anything good for my sinuses. So if you hear me sniffling and coughing, it's definitely not being sick so much as just up and down weather playing havoc with my respiratory system. But let's pull a couple more cards before I jump off here. And I'm thinking just for giggles, our next Sabbath coming up, if you're one of my fellow witchy witches, is Ostara. Now, I know that not all witches celebrate all the Sabbats or any of them, but for those of you that do celebrate Ostara, being all about new beginnings and finding the balance between light and dark, the good and the bad, endings and beginnings, all those good things. Let's see what aspect in our life we should probably focus on for Ostara in case you're planning on making some wish eggs or doing a meditation for balance. Let's see what we can't do for you. My cards are not behaving very well for this. All right. So, Ostara. What should we be focusing on for my fellow witchy witches? All right. So, interesting. We've got an upright Knight of Cups and a reverse Page of Wands. So that tells me that there's more than likely someone in your life that is absolutely amazing. They do a wonderful job, but they have no real direction, if you will, as far as their career. They're just kind of bouncing from job to job, probably doing a lot of couch surfing. You're going to help them find that balance between living the carefree life and jumping off. A star is definitely going to be very interesting for some of you. And if you're just joining, howdy, howdy, howdy. Unfortunately, it's been a bit of a slow night, so I'll be jumping off here about 6:45. But if you would like a reading, the how-to is in the comments. And actually, if you're the one I'm thinking of, I did a reading for someone that was going to be the second person joining the live. And you'll need to, unfortunately, rewind a little bit, but you had something in there for you. All right, so for the witches, that quick was for what you need to be focusing on or balancing. If you don't celebrate a star, that's totally fine. Zero judgment. But in case you kind of want to low-key celebrate, we don't judge. Let's see what we can't figure out for you to help you kind of bring a little extra balance in your life. Because, let's face it, the world we live in, balance is the new American dream. And no judgment to those of you outside of the US. Trust me, I know that we're not anyone's favorite right now, but please keep in mind that we're not all special. Huh. I blame me for getting a little ADD for a second there. All right, cards. Come now. What do these people need to focus on if they want to try and bring a little balance into their life for the spring equinox? Hard to believe that's only a couple of weeks away. I've got baskets to make. All right. That makes so much more sense now. All right. So for those of you that would like to bring a little balance in your life, would like to low-key celebrate the spring equinox, we have a reverse moon and reverse Ace of Wands. So something's telling me that it's time to actually pull the wool off your own eyes and really actually see not necessarily what you want to see in those areas or choose to kind of ignore, because you've got too many shadows in your brain kind of making you go, nope, things are A, B, and C, and when in reality it's actually LOM. But once you pull the wool off your own eyes and really start seeing all of those details that you chose to kind of not see, all of those creative blocks, all those communication issues you've been dealing with, and something tells me it's more along the lines of finding your voice so that you do know that you exist in the room, that's going to change. You're actually going to see the root cause of what's going on that's causing all of these blocks. Be it your creative block, your voice, you're going to finally see what the problem is so you can actually start fixing it and actually start seeing that you can maintain a work-life balance, that you can maintain a personal relationship along with whatever duties that you're required to do extra, be it having friends and taking care of a housebound family member, whatever that case may be. But I definitely recommend kind of starting to take a slow few steps back and just slowly start noticing things. We're in Mercury retrograde. It's a great time to actually start noticing those little details that you've just been kind of pushing to the side. Mm. Whew. That was definitely an interesting one for you guys that would like to low-key celebrate Astara. Because typically, my cards do float very well with whatever's going on in our cosmos at that time. But that was a little too on the nose there. And we'll do one more collective, and then, sorry guys, but I'm going to have to jump off here. I was kind of silly, and instead of thinking and, eating before jumping on here, kind of did run, oh crap, it's almost 6, and jumped on my computer. So, for our last card of the night, I'm going to leave you guys with an energy to meditate with from our Goddess Guidance deck. Something that we all either need to embody or unblock to turn the rest of our first week of March into something absolutely beautiful. A week to happily remember. Emphasis on happy. What do we need to do? All right. So amazingly, we actually have 4. So my gut's telling me do this in order of elemental zodiac signs. So if you're unsure on what element your zodiac is, no worries. Put in the comments. Glad to let you know. But for starting us off, for our air signs, we have a sideways Dana. Typically, her message is you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teachings. So what this is telling me is you've got a very solid start in all of your spirituality. You are doing fabulous. And I love the fact that you also want to teach. Share the knowledge you have. Help people get to a better place, whether it's on the plane that we're already on or help them get to a better afterlife, whatever that is. Before you start teaching, take a step back and meditate with Dana and ask her, what do you still need to learn before you are ready. Because you're almost there. You've almost got everything. But take about 15, 20 minutes tonight and talk with Dana and ask her what is left to learn. For our water zodiac signs, you guys also have it sideways. You have Mott. Her message is this situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. So, you're in a situation, you've got something going on that you are just praying beyond all reason goes in the direction that you want it to. And to a degree, you've got an idea on how it could, but you're still a little fuzzy on the details. Much like our air people, take 15, 20 minutes tonight, work with Mott or a version of Mott. She's the goddess of justice, if that helps you at all. But work with her and her energy and figure out where those blind details are so that you know, regardless if it works in your favor or against, you will know that it was done in a just and fair manner and in the best way that it possibly could be, or how to steer in that direction. For our Earth people, you have a reverse Isis. Typically, her message is this situation involves your past life memories. Because of how it came out, you need to actually look at what's going on in your life right now, whatever it is that's most prevalent and just keeping you up at night. You need to accept that it happened, it sucked, or it was absolutely fabulous, but good, bad, or indifferent, it's gone. I would start working with Isis and ask her how to let go, how to move forward from it, leave it in the past where it's supposed to be, so that you can grow. And last but absolutely not least, our fire folk. You also have a reverse, my dear. I do apologize. But you have a reverse Maeve. Typically, her message is honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. Being a fellow fire baby, we both know exactly what this is trying to say. We love to burn bright. We love to just annihilate our to-do list. We love to just burn that energy and think that we still have more fire to go. We're human and we don't. We need to actually work with Maeve and ask her to help us start relearning our cycles, relearning our energetic limits, relearning how to work with those cycles instead of trying to make them work on our wants. Because we do have a natural cycle. We do have a natural way that each and every person works. Us fire folk need to stop ignoring that. But if any of these readings helped you out at all, please leave in the comments card. And if you would ever like a personal reading, definitely go to the channel bio. Options are there. But good, bad, or indifferent, thank you for joining. Have a fabulous night. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for how to change your luck.